A game I have been waiting to play my entire life is Vader Immortal Episode 1, a true first step to the Star Wars experience that every true fan has been waiting for. It lets you wield a lightsaber and eventually fight side by side with Darth Vader himself. You play a captain of a smuggler vessel with the droid ZOE3 that happens to be voiced by Maya Rudolph. You're captured by the Empire and taken in front of Lord Vader. He sees something in you and recruits you for some work. My favorite part about this game is just being in the Star Wars world and getting to use some of the tech. In the beginning of the game, you get some damage to your ship and have to use a scanner to identify it and then bypass the problem. And then you get your hands on a lightsaber, and it's absolutely awesome. You get to practice with the droid for a while and then take on a robot invasion. My only real complaint is that, like most VR experiences, well, this one's pretty short, about 20 minutes straight through, but it does have some replayability built in that you will have to take advantage of. The Lightsaber Dojo puts you up against different robots that can wield their own lightsabers or shoot blasters at you, which you will have to use the Force to block with your saber and then reflect back at the droids. And if you're very quick, you can even slice some of the droids in half before they fly away and get to a point to where they can use their blasters on you. It's incredibly fun, and there are 40 levels that get harder as you go, and they throw newer, different robots at you with different skills. It is very well done, and will give you a reason to go back to this $10 bargain again and again. And trust me, it's very satisfying when you start slicing those little flying droids out of the air, and blocking blaster fire is everything that you want it to be. While this is an Oculus exclusive, there are ways to play it with a Vive. And not only does it work with the Rift S, but it also works on the Oculus Quest, the company's all-in-one headset. That means you can get into the Star Wars world for as little as $3.99, even if you don't have a gaming computer. If you are a true Star Wars geek, that's nothing. Have you seen the price of some of those Lego Death Star kits? For great gameplay and giving me the ability to wield a lightsaber for the first time in VR, and even changing the color of the crystal inside, I'm giving Vader Immortal Episode 1 4 out of 5 stars here on your weekly tech update. If you're an old school hardcore gamer like myself, then you will remember Quake and Unreal. My favorites were Quake 3 Arena and Unreal Tournament. They both came out around the same time and offered us the ability to round up all of our friends online and play together. It was super fast first-person shooter action with, at times, low gravity. Space Junkies is the VR equivalent. Opting to remove gravity altogether, this online multiplayer first-person shooter is a blast to play with up to 5 other people. Matches range from the standard deathmatch and team deathmatch to king mode, where they have you cycle through weapons after each kill, to Instablast, which is like a match from GoldenEye, where everyone has a golden gun. One shot, one kill. You also have access to perks like a shield, a lightsaber, a health pack, and quite a bit more. This is a game I played on the PlayStation VR and was a little frustrated with because the PlayStation controllers don't have analog sticks. You have to move by pressing buttons, and it just makes it feel a bit clunky. The Oculus Touch controllers both have analog sticks in them. This gives you easy, free movement and really makes the game a lot of fun. You're able to shoot straight forward while strafing left and right and up and down, and it really helps with the immersion. This is an online-only game, so if you don't have a good internet connection, or are not happy to play with others online, well, you may want to avoid this. If, like me, you've wanted something in VR that could quench your Quake-style addiction for a good deathmatch, then I'd say give it a go. Besides being a great, fast first-person shooter that offers everything from shotguns to rocket launchers, it's a Ubisoft game and uses their cross-platform play. That means that you can play with others who own a Rift, a Vive, a PlayStation VR, or any one of the mixed reality headsets on the market. My only real complaint about the game is that it's regulated to 6 players in one match, which actually is an improvement. They just increased that from a maximum 4 players not too long ago. However, I would still like to get many more players in there. If you could play with 16 players, then in my opinion, this would be about a perfect game. For only allowing 6 players at once and having issues connecting to games with other players, I have to give Space Junkies for the Oculus Rift S 4 out of 5 stars. I would really say it's worth picking up for any of the available headsets though. Moving on to Duck Season for the Oculus Rift S. This is an amazing throwback to my childhood when we first got the original NES and we all sat around playing Duck Hunt. Now, I understand that Nintendo really doesn't play well with others, but they should have okayed a license to this game to have the original names and graphics. But as it is, Duck Season is a VR remake of Duck Hunt, just slightly changed to avoid legal issues. It's also a story-driven game that's set in the 80s about the boy playing the game, and allows you to look around his living room, read magazines, look at VHS tapes and game cartridges, all of which are spoofs of original content like the Nintendo Power magazines. Instead of Double Dragon, it was Triple Tiger, or Battle Brothers, where you play Spanish electricians and they have National Geographic, or whatever they call them in-game, everywhere around the living room. You have to take some time and appreciate the humor put into some of the headlines, like bananas tested for intelligence and poisonous night owls. This game is so well done and filled with nostalgic details that you will feel transported back in time. You're even about 4 feet tall in the game, and your mother towers over you. Now, at one point, I stood there and just kind of looked around at all the stuff. I read all the magazine covers, all the game covers, the videotapes, and made a huge mess in the process. You know, just for fun. Once you get into the game, it's a total recreation of Duck Hunt, with a little twist. When you turn around, you can see the back of the TV, and you're peering out of it at the kid through the glass who is playing the game. Again, the attention to detail is amazing. You're able to see the back of the knobs and circuit boards, turn back around, and have fun playing Duck Hunt in VR, complete with your hunting dog who brings the ducks back and puts them in the back of your truck. You start off learning how to use the weapon and reload it. Then you're able to start the game. Reloading takes a little bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's fairly intuitive. Starting the game is just like the original. Shoot the prompt, and the ducks start flying. Instead of the ducks bouncing back and forth a few times off the sides of the TV like they did in the original, there are invisible walls. Ducks fly around and bounce back and forth off the walls a few times before flying off, giving you a decent chance to shoot them out of the sky. There are 10 ducks per round, just like the original, with 5 misses allowed, with a few surprises thrown in for good measure. My hope is this will give inspiration for other remakes of classics, like a VR Mario game, maybe a VR Mario Kart game, a VR remake of Sonic, maybe Metal Gear as well. Ooh, and Star Fox would be awesome in virtual reality. As it is, VR is becoming more and more popular, and more money is being thrown in that direction. If we can keep getting experiences with this much detail and polish, more people will want to try, and eventually all games should be playable in VR in some fashion or another. My advice to this experience: take your time. Enjoy the work that they put into this game and enjoy the story along the way. The gameplay is fun and exactly what it should be. Duck Season earns 5 out of 5 stars and is a must-play game if you're a child of the 80s.